Hello everybody, my name is Wilder, and welcome to my podcast. I thought I would make this mostly just because I wanted to talk, literally. It was just because I wanted to talk into a microphone, that's it, really. My last video that I made on my channel was the, If the Legend of Zelda was an RPG video, and I'm actually pretty proud of that one. It's the first video that I ever wrote a script for, and sat down, recorded, edited, put it all together, So it took a long time to make, and I was actually really proud of it. The problem with it was that I felt like I could have done a better job if I had sat down and had a conversation, rather than, watching the video back. I felt like I could just make better points by just having a conversation, and explaining to people more of the things that I left out. Like I mentioned at the end of that video that there were some ideas that I left out, and I think that, I don't know, I love that video. I think it's really well done, in my opinion. Well, for my level of video making skill. And I like it, but I don't know. There's something that I just like more about sitting here and just talking. I think I'll like it a lot more. So I decided to make this. And I didn't really know. It's kind of hard to do a podcast on your own because you have to talk for so long. So I thought I'd come up with some stuff to talk about, and I did actually. And so I didn't want to make a video on this because it's really, there's a stigma around it, I guess you can say, and it's kind of funny. But so instead of making a video, I thought I would make it dedicate a podcast to it. This is going to be unedited, by the way, so you're going to hear me stutter and stuff. But I wanted to talk about my top 10 upcoming Switch games. I did, because I'm really excited for some of the games, and I just wanted to talk about it. And I didn't want to make a top 10 video because of how they're seen. So yeah. There's actually quite a few Switch games coming up, and I'm surprised about it. Because the Wii U, Nintendo did this thing with the Wii U. Everybody knows they killed it. They absolutely killed it because there wasn't enough games for it, and it's just the games that were out were awesome. So the Wii U had actually had a really good lineup, and I was very surprised in the middle of it all, but it wasn't long enough. The lineup was nice, but there wasn't enough of it, because you got Pikmin 3, which was amazing, Hyrule Warriors, which was awesome. I'm glad Hyrule Warriors is coming back to the Switch, or coming to the Switch. I'm gonna get it, but that's not on this list. You had Smash Bros for Wii U. I mean, come on, that's a console seller right there. Mario Kart 8, and granted, those games are going to be on the Switch. I hope Pikmin 3 comes to the Switch. It probably won't, but the Wii U had some gems. There just wasn't enough of them to warrant buying a whole console, even though everybody bought the Switch for Breath of the Wild. But no, it had a lot of gems, but I wasn't able to really hear about a game and feel super excited about it because there weren't any. By the time I got my Switch after Smash Bros was released. So I got my Switch, I got Smash Bros, I got Pikmin 3, I got Mario Kart 8. How am I forgetting this? There's only 4 games. And Mario 3D World, Cat World. I love that game, actually. I think that's really well done. But I had a Wind Waker HD. I got the Wind Waker HD edition, which I love. So there were a few games that I had, and that's all I had. That's absolutely all I had. So by the time I actually got my Switch, I had all the games that I had been was going to be looking forward to were already out. So there was really no way that I could have sat down and listened to announcements or something and been really, really excited about anything that was coming out. But with the Switch, because there's so much, I'm really excited for a lot of games that are coming out. A lot of people have found that the Switch is releasing games really slowly, and I agree. But I mean, okay, so there's the talk about remakes, because the Switch has been remaking a lot of games, or they've importing a lot of games as remasters or remakes from the Wii U, and a lot of people don't like that, because they think it's kind of a cop-out, and I mean, there are some games that I've already played, like Mario Kart 8. I haven't gotten Deluxe on the Switch yet, but I kind of really want to, because I don't have my Wii U anymore. I traded it in, and all its games, for the Switch. there are games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, and people are seeing it as like kind of a cop-out because people who had a Wii U have already played those games because they were the only games to play on that console. But on the other side of that, there are people who either had a Wii U and never picked those games up, or there are people who never got a Wii U because of the reasons I've been talking about, and they're really excited to try these new games. I'm kind of like on that side defending those people because I would love new games as well, but it's always good for ports to come because I'm a person who actually loves to have all my games on one system. When I first got my PC, I got Steam and I saw all these games on Steam, and I was so excited to be able to have all these games on one console on my PC, like, you know, in one place, I should say. And I got really excited and I bought like a bunch of Steam games, and I love my PC, but the Switch is my favorite way to play video games because I can bring it everywhere. I can bring it anywhere in the house with me. I can bring it anywhere outside. I can bring it on trips. You can play this thing on a plane. I mean, it's crazy. I love my Switch, and I'm more likely to play games because I can bring it everywhere. So now, because I love it so much, I want like all of my games on the Switch. So getting ports from old games to the Switch is, in my opinion, like, it's a good thing. I love it. But a lot of people are upset about it. But defending the other side of the argument is, like, remember, the Wii U had nothing, right? And what it did have was, well, there were like a lot of party games, but the good things that it had were gems, like 100%. But sometimes that's not enough to sell a console to a lot of people, right? If there's like 3 or 4 gems and then a bunch of like party games that no one wants to touch, it's not enough to sell a console. So there are a lot of people who didn't get a chance to play these amazing games on the Wii U, so they're really happy that it's getting remade. So, like, I don't mind it either because it's not really taking away anything from the actual, like, first-party AAA titles because it's a different team that ports, it's a different team that does all that. And you get to play the gems that you probably don't have anymore because, like, I don't know, a lot of people gave up their Wii U's either before the Switch was announced or when the Switch was announced because I see deals everywhere in game stores where you can just trade in your Wii U and get like $100, $200 off of, I just hit my mic. You can get like $100 or $200 off of a Switch, you know? So why wouldn't anyone do that? Because they don't play their Wii U anymore. I know for a fact there are people out there whose Wii U is just so dusty right now. Like, so dusty. There are people who love the Wii U, and I know that there are people, I've seen them on the internet, and they love their Wii U, and I get it. I do. The Wii U is cool. I liked the concept. I just think that the Wii U, to me, the Wii U seems like a prototype for the Switch. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like now. But there are people who think that the Wii U is superior. That I don't get so much, but I do get why you still would love your Wii U. They're just, for me personally, there's not a lot on it. But ports are just something that a lot of people get a little bit upset about, especially when there's this many. And my original point was that it doesn't feel like there's a lot of new games coming out, but there are a lot of games coming out because of the ports. But there are a lot of AAA titles, some that we don't know about or anything about, just a name, and then there are some that we know quite a bit about coming out. And I made like a list of like 10 that I'm very excited about. This list isn't going to have any ports. Well, there's one port on here, but I'm gonna let it slide because it's a very old game, and it wasn't a port from last gen. That's my reasoning behind that. If the game isn't from last gen, then it's going to be on this list if it is a port. But there's only one, so the rest are new AAA titles. Oh, and one is an indie title, which, yeah, that's pretty cool. But so I'll get into it, I guess. Number 10 on my list is so this one surprised me a lot. I didn't think that this one was going to touch a top 100 list, let alone a top 10. And I'll explain why, because I have a history with this series. Number 10 is Mario Tennis Aces. This game, immediately when I heard the title, I immediately was like, nope, not touching it, not looking at it, not watching the video. I'm not getting that. And I totally just like pushed it away from me. But I was watching the recent E3, and you know, the one where they revealed Smash Bros. For the Switch, and they went into depth on Aces, and I was actually really surprised. So, there was a Mario Tennis game on the Game Boy Advance, which was a fantastic game. I loved it. You played as there were two characters. There was a boy and a girl, Clay and Ace, and you could pick one, and the other was your partner for doubles. And it was this, like, you had skills you could level up. You had trainings. You can go to like the special gyms, and you can do training sessions to train different areas. And you can turn your character into, it was like an RPG, and you can turn your character into like different, you could up different play styles basically by upping different stats like strength or speed or, you know, whatever. And there were technical stats that you could up. So if you wanted to have a you know, if you want to have power shots, really good power shots, you could up your strength. And then you could also up, it's been a while, you could up skills that would help you make different shots and different moves a lot easier, basically, and the timing would be better, and, you know, blah, 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 so on and so on. And it was an RPG, and it had a story, too, and the story was pretty cool. It wasn't anything special, but the fact that there was a story, and there were interesting original characters, and the humor was pretty cute, too. The fact that all that was there really made me love it, and I played it for years, and I loved it. And I had always hoped that one day we'd get a Mario Tennis game like that again, you know, with like, kind of like an RPG. There was also a Mario Golf game for the Game Boy Advance that was the same thing. I never played that one, but it was the same thing, same idea. So those two were released side by side, and I've always wished that we had gotten, or that we would get a Mario Tennis game like that again, because I loved that, and I played it so much. And when the new Mario Tennis game came out on the 3DS, I don't remember what it was called. I got it, though, when it came out. And I wanted to try it, because I was like, I haven't played Mario Tennis game since that. Or, well, I played the one on the GameCube. I don't remember what it's called. But I hadn't really played and gotten into one since the Game Boy Advance. So I was like, I'll pick it up and see what it's like. And I played it, and I was really, really, really underwhelmed. And I didn't have any fun with it. I don't know. It was just, part of it was because it was on the 3DS, to be honest. I don't know. There's something about playing that game on the 3DS that just, it didn't, I never had a problem with screen size, but I did during that. There was a problem for me. And I didn't enjoy it very much, and I lost interest pretty quick. The coolest thing was that you could buy clothing for your characters and your Mii. So, like, Mario Tennis for me is like, it's a long lost dream that I can have an RPG Mario Tennis game again. But this game got announced, and I watched the trailer where they went in depth on the game, and there are some cool things, like you have a special meter that builds up, and when like your special meter is all built up, you can use a trick shot. You can either use it to defensively save yourself, basically, or you can use it offensively, and you can actually break your opponent's racket, which is cool. There are actually a lot of cool things about this, like the fact that your tennis racket and your opponent's tennis racket has health. Like, it actually has a health bar, and it shows you how many rackets you have. And like the skill shot and stuff, that's cool, you know. It's just kind of like little add-ons that I was kind of interested in, but I was like, I'm still not interested enough in this game to get it. It looked fun, though. It looks beautiful, first of all. Like, this game looks beautiful. And it looks kind of fun, you know. It's a tennis game. It's a Mario Tennis game. It looks fun. But I'm not usually interested in them, like, at all. But then they showed that in this game there is a story mode, and I was like, it piqued my interest. But I knew that I wasn't gonna get anything like I had gotten before. But there is a story mode in this, and it did interest me because you get to see old faces, like old characters again. And I saw an overworld map, and you get to go to different points in the overworld map, and you have to You have to basically do missions, and you can fight bosses, which have a certain like type of playstyle that you need to adapt to. And it was really, really interesting. I really enjoyed watching that because it was interesting to me. You know, it's not like a huge story or anything, which the Game Boy Advance game didn't have either. But it was definitely something that, like, it was something that would keep me playing this game for a lot longer than just tennis. You know, I'm not a huge fan of just sitting and playing tennis for like match after match after match with like an NPC or a friend whenever I have a friend who wants to play, you know. So it definitely, it piqued my interest, I have to say. And surprisingly, I am going to be watching this game. I'm not going to get it on release day, but I'm going to be looking out for it and like seeing the information that comes out. Chain Chomp is a character, by the way, and that is amazing. I love that. That is amazing. I'm gonna be watching this game though. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up at all, but I'm definitely gonna be watching it because I'm interested. It captured me enough to have me interested, which was their goal, obviously. That story mode, I need to see more of that story mode because the replayability has to be great, because if it's great, then I will love it. And I will play it a lot. That's actually probably my biggest problem. I know that this can be a multiplayer game too, but not all multiplayer games have the replayability that I'm looking for. Like personally, I don't know. It's just like, it's weird. Usually I'm not looking for a story mode with all that much replayability when there's like a multiplayer mode, but definitely for this series, I definitely am looking for it. But I'll keep an eye out for it. Now, so this next one is actually pretty weird. Number 9 on my list is Metroid Prime 4. And now, before everybody starts to freak out and ask me why this is number 9 on my list, I have never played I've played Metroid Prime games, but I hadn't played them until Metroid Prime 4 was announced. So what happened was Metroid Prime 4 was announced, and I was watching this alone, and I was like, oh, Metroid Prime 4, cool. And I just moved on. You know, there was no gameplay, there was nothing there, so I was just like, oh, Metroid Prime 4, I know that name. I know Metroid Prime. And then, you know, everything just moved on, and we went to the next game. But I went online, and everybody, like absolutely everybody, was freaking out. You know, they were flipping tables and chairs and like screaming about Metroid Prime 4, and I didn't understand. I was like, I looked at it and was immediately, I was like, I obviously missed something. So I went and kind of delved into Metroid Prime, this series, and learned that this series was highly loved, and reviewers loved it, and it was actually rated pretty high, and people just had so much love for it, and I was like, this is a GameCube game. The first one is a GameCube game, the first and second. So either this is nostalgia, or this is actually a really good game. So, I got it. I went and got Metroid Prime, and I tried. I got Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2. And I played them. I played the first one, and immediately, like right off the bat, I was hit with this amazing, wonderful, breathtaking immersion into this empty, cold world that made me feel so alone and like isolated. I honestly have never felt this way while playing a game before. Like in all the games that try and make you feel alone and isolated, and like, you know, like sometimes post-apocalyptic or zombie games will try and make you feel scared and alone. I don't. It's, you know, it's Metroid Prime 4 managed to make me feel the way that Nocturne, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, makes me feel. That is an amazing accomplishment, because Nocturne makes you feel like you are absolutely alone. There's no one else, and if there is anyone else, they're probably wanting to kill you. Nocturne makes you feel lonely, and I love it for that. I think that's one of the best things about Nocturne is its atmosphere. Metroid Prime has the same exact effect. And when I found that out, I was so excited to play more of it. And I did. I played more, and I loved it. That atmosphere is so amazing. But I did have a problem with the game, and the series as a whole. Well, 1 and 2. I haven't tried 3. I know that 3 is way more story-based and dialogue-based than the other two, but I haven't tried it. I'm very interested in trying it. I don't know when I'll get it, though, or if I will, but I'll definitely try and watch some of it. But I have a problem with the first 2 games, at least the first one. I played not a lot of the second one. The first one I played a lot of hours of it. I didn't beat it, but I played almost all of it. But I started to realize that my problem with the Metroid Prime series is that you just... so the atmosphere is amazing, right? And it makes you feel all these things that I said. But there's nothing after that. There really isn't. There's really cool boss fights. There's abilities that make the game a lot more fun. And that's about it, honestly. The exploration is cool. Finding secrets is cool. There are secret upgrades hidden all over the place. But there's no real story to it. There are these data logs that you can find and read, and they give you lore onto what's happening on the planet that you're on, and why everything looks like it does, why there are creatures on it, stuff like that. And those are cool, but there's nothing to the game draws you in with the atmosphere, and then it kind of just leaves you there. There's nothing to keep me there. I can just kind of leave. The atmosphere definitely drew me in, though. That was amazing. But after a few hours of playing, I started to realize that I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, You go to an area, you get an ability, you beat the boss, you beat all these enemies on your way to the boss, you beat the boss, you unlock something, and then you go to the next area. And, the areas are the exact same. You can argue that a lot of games have this, and no one bats an eye, even me, like Mario Sunshine, you could say, for example. Maybe not Mario Odyssey, but Sunshine, definitely. You go to an area, you do this thing, you get out, you go back into the area, you do this thing. A lot of the games have that, but they're different. There's something that keeps you playing, and it's that everything you do is so different. Metroid Prime, I was doing the same thing over and over again, and it didn't feel like there was going to be a payoff in the end, basically, because a lot of people apparently didn't like Metroid Prime 3 because it was so story-oriented, bleh, and dialogue-heavy, but I feel like I would actually enjoy that a lot more. That would probably be my favorite, because there's, the atmosphere would draw me in, assuming that it's the same as, the first two, and then the story and the dialogue and the characters would keep me there, That's what I'm personally looking for, bleh. But Metroid Prime 1 and 2... just didn't have a lot to keep me there, for me personally. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything. It was amazing, and I know why Metroid Prime 4 is such a big deal. I'm excited to see it. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up at launch, but I'm definitely excited to see it. I most likely will get it eventually. I want to see gameplay. I want to see what it's about. I want to see what more there is to it and what they build off of the trilogy. I definitely want to see it. I'm interested. Not interested enough to go out and pre-order it right now, but I would like to see a lot more. I'd be excited to see a gameplay trailer at least. Interesting about this though is it's not being worked on by the same studio that made the original trilogy, which I found that out recently. Apparently Bandai Namco is working on it, which also interests me, because Retro Studios was the team behind the original trilogy, and apparently Bandai Namco is working on it in this Metroid Prime 4 instead of Retro Studios. So that's interesting. I'm interested to see if they will hold true to the original trilogy or not. I wouldn't be the best judge of that, though, so I can't really judge that, but that's just an interesting little thing that I found out about it. Moving on, though, number 8 is Super Smash Bros. For the Switch. This probably should be higher on my list. But personally, I think it's in the perfect place. Number 8. I love the Smash Bros. Series. Absolutely. I love it. I grew up with it, like many people. Melee was my first. And I have owned every game up to Smash 4 on the Wii U and 3DS, except for the original on the N64. Well, I bought it on the Virtual Console. That counts, right? I've owned every Smash game. And I love them all. They're all amazing. Absolutely. So I'm excited, of course, for this. I'm very excited to see what new characters we get, what new stages, and I'm excited to see like everything that's going to be added and changed and fixed and improved upon. And I'm excited to have a Smash Bros. Game on my Switch, because the coolest thing about having on the 3DS was that it was portable. But it didn't look very good, did it? It looked okay. They used a graphic style that it was okay. It made it look pretty cool. But it's, you know. Also, there's something about playing my 3DS for a really long time. It makes my thumbs really sore. Like, I don't know what it is, but Smash Bros. Specifically on my 3DS makes my thumbs really sore. I don't know what it is. It's weird. It's really weird. So I'm excited to have this on the Switch, because not only will we have oh my god, I can't stop stuttering. Not only will we have a new Smash Bros. Game, we will also have it portable, looking as beautiful as it would on a console, or almost. We don't know enough about this game for it to be higher on my list. I assure you that if we had more information, this would be a little bit higher. But we don't have that information, so it's going to sit where it is sitting right now, and it's going to stay there until anything else happens. So what we do know about this game is that there are going to be Inklings from Splatoon in this game. I'm pretty sure there's only one game. I don't think they would make this for the 3DS as well again. Although Nintendo will not let the 3DS die, which is kind of a good thing, but I mean, in my opinion, the Switch is their new handheld console, but that's another conversation for another day. We do know that Inklings are going to be in this game, which is really cool. I'm excited to see how they play. And Breath of the Wild Link. We saw a silhouette of Breath of the Wild Link, and I am so excited to see all of his new abilities. I personally hope that one of his abilities is that he just throws random weapons. Like, you know how you can just throw your weapons in Breath of the Wild, and sometimes they'll just break upon impact? I really hope he just throws random weapons. That would be pretty cool. I think that would be cool. But that's really all we know. It's a new Smash game for the Switch, coming out in 2018. There are Inklings, and there's Breath of the Wild Link. That's all we know. If we knew more, I know for a fact this would be a little higher on my list. I wouldn't put it up in like the top 3 or anything, but this would be higher. But we don't know a lot about it. I just hope that, you know, they improve on the things that need improving upon, and I hope there are more modes. What was it on the 3DS? Smash Run? Is that what it was called? That was a very cool mode where you ran through this like subspace emissary type map, and you collected upgrades for your speed, your power, your specials, and at the end it would be like 4 people ran through the map and collected all these upgrades and all this stuff, and then at the end they would have a 4-player match, free for all, with all the abilities that they upgraded, and it was really cool. I loved that game mode. I just wish that it kind of lasted longer than it usually did, because you'd collect all this stuff, and then you'd have a fight, and the fight could be over really quickly, because if you're not playing with friends, the fight is really easy. But I kind of wish that the first person to die in that was eliminated, and then it would go on to have like 3 people in Subspace Emissary, and you can keep upgrading your skills, and it would just get more crazy until it was like a 1v1 in the end. I want more modes like that, because the Wii U had like the board game. It had like the Mario Party types Smash Brothers board game, and I have no idea. I never learned how to play it, and I didn't want to. It wasn't fun in my opinion. Maybe that's just because I didn't learn it, but I tried it out a bit, and I started to get the hang of it, and I just didn't have fun with it, so I stopped. Maybe when you learn it, it's amazing, but I personally didn't enjoy it. I was always jealous of the 3DS version having Smash Run. I think that's what it's called, until I got the 3DS version. But I want more modes like that, because those are fun, you know? Event matches, as fun as they can be, they can get old pretty fast, and some of them are really difficult, especially in Melee. But I would like more modes. So that's what I personally want from Smash Bros. I don't have a character list or anything right now, although Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia is always on my list every single year, no matter what Smash game it is, for what system. Even if I know that they released a Mii costume for Lloyd, but hey, that only proves to me that maybe there could be a thing, you know? Anyway, that's, again, another conversation for another day. Number 7 on my list is Yoshi for the Nintendo Switch. Doesn't even have an official name yet, but you know what? I'm excited for it. This game looks, if there was if there was a name, what am I saying? I'm getting all these words jumbled in my head. If there was a word, yes, I was trying to find the word. If there was a word for how this game looks, it would be delightful. It's delightful to look at. Have you seen the trailer? The trailer looks delightful. It's cute. It looks fun. It's cute. It looks like it's amazing to play with friends. It's cute. The game looks beautiful. The graphics are great. It's cute. Have I mentioned that it's cute? I love Yoshi games, and I was so upset that I didn't get to play Woolly World. I never owned Woolly World on the Wii U, and I was pretty upset about it. But, you know, at the end of the Wii U's life, I kind of realized I'm not going to have this thing forever, so I didn't pick up Woolly World. But this game, I'm going to pick up this game. I'm getting this game at launch. Definitely. There is a mechanic, so we don't know much about this game. It's literally titled Yoshi right now. That's it. So everyone's calling it Yoshi for the Switch. Because we don't have an actual, title for it. We don't know anything about it except for what we saw in the trailer, which we only got one trailer. I'm hoping that we see more from this at E3. I really am. There's a mechanic in this game where you can ground pound, and it'll switch the view of the screen. So, like, you can, in, what does it remind me of? It reminds me of Super Paper Mario, where you had the ability to go into 3D. It reminds me of that, but it's not that. So it's a 2D platformer. But if you ground pound, you can flip the camera, and you can see from the opposite side of the 2D plane, basically. So if you like, say there's like this structure. It was in the trailer. Say there's like this cardboard structure. Yoshi goes inside of it, and you can't see him. You ground pound, and it flips the camera, and on the other side, it's all open. And you can see, it's cool. It's an interesting idea because you can really hide a lot of secrets that you and your friends would have to, like, keep flipping the screen to try and find. It seems really fun. And on top of that, there's all the mechanics that we know and love in this game, like eating enemies and turning them into eggs, and, like, collectibles, stuff like that. It's a Yoshi game. And I love Yoshi games. I definitely want to get this when it comes out. I've already been sold just because of that trailer. That's why it's up here on my list. I'm already sold, honestly. It's adorable. It's a Yoshi game. Of course, it's going to be fun. It's a Yoshi game. All Yoshi games. Name a Yoshi game that's not fun. There's probably a few. Never mind. Don't do that. But I'm excited for it, definitely. So it looks good in the trailer, but there are a few problems that a lot of people have with it. But I know for a fact that that was such an early build that when we see the game again, it's going to look a lot better. And I'm excited to see it because I know it's going to look a lot better. Moving on to number 6. Number 6 is something we also know nothing about. Like, we probably have the least amount of information on this compared to the others I've covered. Well, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Metroid Prime 4 is probably, like, on par with the information we have. Pokemon for the Switch. Now, I know that I just talked about how some of the games weren't high enough on my list because we didn't have information about them, like Metroid Prime 4 or the new Smash Bros. Coming out. And I know I said that, but what we know about this is it's a Pokemon game that is being made for the Switch, and it's a main series game. It's a main series Pokemon game. That's all we know, and that made it up here on the list. It's number 6 because I know that I will never be let down by this. I really hope. But I'm excited, you know? I'm really excited to find this out. Cut that. I'm really excited to see more of this. And I know this game isn't going to be ready for quite a while. This game, we'll be lucky to see it in 2019. Or see it come out in 2019. Hoping 2019, but we will be lucky for it to have a 2019 release date. 2020, maybe. Possibly. Is it just me, or does 2020 sound so far away? Like the year 2020? I don't know, it sounds too futuristic for us right now. Even though it's only 2 years. Not even 2 years. We're like halfway through 2018, aren't we? Wow. Anyway, getting off track. I know this game isn't coming out for a long time, but I know enough to make me super excited, you know? I grew up with Pokemon like a lot of people. I'm so excited about this. Main series Pokemon game on the Switch, on a home console, that has the power to look amazing. Sun and Moon looked good. You know, it looked good for a 3DS game. And the cutscenes in Sun and Moon were actual cutscenes, you know, not like Pokemon dialogue that we get between two characters. They were actual cutscenes. Like when you choose your starter, that is an actual cutscene that you would find in a console AAA title. And it was on the 3DS. I loved it. It was amazing. And it really made me want a console Pokemon game, because think of how good that would look on the Switch. I wasn't the biggest fan of Sun and Moon, but I had fun with it. I'm ready for what they're going to do next. I really am. And the fact that it's on the home console, it's going to look amazing. Now, there were 2 Pokemon games on a home console. Well, like 4, I think. Hey You Pikachu, does that count? Pokemon Channel? For the sake of this conversation, I'll just tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, and Pokemon Colosseum. That order should be switched. Pokemon Colosseum came first. I grew up with Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, on the GameCube. And I love that game so much. When people say that they wish there was a Pokemon game on the consoles, I always bring that up. And then, of course, I get I made a main series Pokemon game. But in my opinion, why isn't that a main series game? The main series Pokemon game has the structure of you get your starter, right? You get to choose your starter, but in XD you don't really. You get a starter, and gyms, Pokemon gyms have been replaced with the island challenges in Sun and Moon. So it's not always gyms. You have certain objectives you need to do in Pokemon XD, you know, that you do, and you fight bosses at the end. And I don't know, that's a whole other conversation that I'm not going to get into right now, because I can go forever on that. But my point is, like, Pokemon XD was the closest thing we've ever gotten to a main series game on a home console, you know? Because there was also, like, Pokemon Stadium and Stadium 2, which were really cool, but, you know, those weren't anywhere near a main series game. And then Pokemon Channel and Hey You Pikachu. I love Pokemon Channel, honestly. Pichu Brothers is like a better anime than Cory in the House. Just saying. Anyway, so there's a lot of hype about this, and I don't know anything about it. We don't know anything about it, but I'm already so excited just because of the information we have. It's so little, but it may seem so little, but to a lot of us, it's so much, right? I don't know. There's just a lot of hype there. Anyway, I don't want to like keep talking in circles for an hour, so I'm moving on. So we're in the top 5 now. And number 5 is the only port on this list. And it's like I said, The reason that it's here is because it's not a port from last gen. It is The World Ends With You. I am really excited for this. So they're porting The World Ends With You to the Switch, and they're calling it The World Ends With You Final Remix. It's the same game that everyone knows and loves, ported to the Switch, but they're also adding a new scenario exclusive to the console, is what they call it. And this scenario is supposed to be like, it's supposed to be I don't know if it's supposed to be like an epilogue, or like hinting at like a new game, or if it's to close the story better. And the reason I don't know what it is exactly, and the reason I don't know if it would fit as like closing the story better or hinting at something, is because I've never played this game. Now, I played it on the DS. I played, I think, the first day. I think this game is broken up into days, and I think I played the first day. That's nothing for this game, and I know some things about it. And a lot of people actually know these characters because of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, where they appeared. And I'm sadly one of those people. I did play The World Ends With You before I played Dream Drop Distance, but I still don't know these characters, and I know them best through Dream Drop Distance, which seems pretty sad, and it is. That's why I'm so excited that this is coming to the Switch. So this game was originally on the DS. It got ported to Android and iOS, which are apparently really good ports, but I never picked it up. I never did, because I'm not a huge fan of mobile games. I'm more likely to play a game on a game system than my phone. I really am. Every mobile game I've had and got into, I've dropped really quickly, like quicker than any game ever, and I can drop a lot of games usually. I'm very excited that this is coming to the Switch because I get to play it. I get to play it again, and like hopefully finish it this time, because like I said, I'm so much more likely to play games on my Switch because they're on the Switch. I can bring it everywhere with me. I don't have to sit at my desk or on my couch to play it. That's a big thing for me. I don't know why I have such a problem sitting and playing a game in one spot. I can bring it around with me and move it. So I'm going to play this game, and I'm very excited for it because I played day one. I remember just about nothing, but I remember liking the battle system a lot, and I was impressed by it. I can't wait to play this game because I'm finally going to get to see why so many people love it. And I'm excited. I'm definitely picking this one up at launch. I'm going to download it because I doubt they would have a physical release for this. I do like collecting games that have physical releases. I love having like them on my bookshelf. But I'm excited to get this on release. I'm excited to play through it. Wow, I had a voice crack. That was horrible. Anyway, number 4 is a game that's coming out very soon. Not the soonest on this list, but it's coming out very soon. Soonest. That sounds weird. Anyway, Octopath Traveler. This game's coming out very soon. It's coming out in July, I believe, right? July? So this is Square Enix's new game. It's an RPG that reminds me of the old Final Fantasy games. The turn-based RPG style that everyone loves. And it's basically, the story is there are 8 characters that you get to pick, and you get to play through their stories, meeting different characters in each story, and having like different scenarios and problems arise in each story. And all the characters are very different and have their own personalities and their own like, there's like a job system in the game. Well, it's not really a job system. They have their own jobs, I guess you can say. Like, one of the characters is a merchant, and she has a special ability because of it, and her special ability is that she can acquire items from just about anybody from talking to them. Stuff like that. It affects the game kind of minorly, but it also gives them special abilities outside and inside battle. They did release a demo for this game, and I played it, and I was blown away. The game is fun. It's really, really fun, and usually, especially because this is from Square Enix, usually I would play a game that has a battle style that's turn-based, that is, the graphics are like pixelated, and I would think Final Fantasy. But I played this battle style, and it didn't remind me of Final Fantasy at all. It reminded me of it didn't remind me of Final Fantasy. Actually, it didn't remind me of anything. This is really different to me. The battle style was cool. The way that it works, each turn is interesting. It's new. It's really fun. And I'm excited. I played the demo and loved it. There were 2 stories available in the demo. I only played one of them, but I did love it. And I have this game on my list up here because it blew me away. Not only with the battle style and how fun it was, but the look of this game. It is beautiful. How can I look at it like a pixelated game and say it's beautiful? So here's the reason, is because Square Enix did something called, what they called 2.5D, 2.5 dimension, and it basically takes 2D characters and a 2D plane and puts them in front of a 3D dynamic backdrop. If you don't think that these trailers and this game looks beautiful because of it, oh my god, how can you not? This game looks stunning. Visually, it looks so good. The lighting in this game, I was blown away that the lighting looked amazing. Like, I'm flabbergasted. That's the only word that can get me to stop stuttering, is flabbergasted. Honestly. It warrants the reaction I'm having right now because the game looks amazing, and not only that, but it's fun. You put those 2 things together, you literally just sold out your entire stock. I know this game is going to be very popular. Final Fantasy fans are going to love this game. People who are new to the RPG series are going to love this game. RPG series? I guess so, you can say that. If you have been on the fence about this game, get off the fence and pick it up. Honestly, I'll vouch for it. I am ready to get this on launch day. I'm so excited. You can probably tell I'm so excited because I barely got a word out through that entire past few sentences. Anyway, here's the top 3. Here are my top 3 games. So it was actually kind of hard to pick number 3 and number 2 because I wanted to switch them so many times. Number 1 is solid. Number 1's not moving. Not a chance. But number 3, number 2 kept alternating in my mind a lot. But eventually, I left them the way I put them in their original places that I put them. So number 3 is BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. I have never been excited for a fighting game like this. I've never been this excited for a fighting game since Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I am not a very big fighting game fan. Not really, not at all. I enjoy them. They're fun. I just am not very good at them, and I've never really gotten into them. I saw this game, and people were freaking out about it. So I was linked the trailer, and I watched it, and I was like, whoa, I know BlazBlue. I have a BlazBlue game, and I enjoy it a lot. And then I saw Narukami come on screen from the trailer, and I was like, whoa. It crossed, him and Hyde from Under Night In-Birth crossed over and clashed swords, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And I learned why it's called Cross Tag Battle is because, these 3 games are making a crossover. That's cool. Persona 4 Arena, Under Night In-Birth, and BlazBlue. And then, this trailer ended, and I was like, whoa. But of course it didn't end. If you've watched the trailer, you know immediately it did not end. Ruby Rose came on screen from Rooster Teeth, and I flipped out. I actually flipped my chair. I didn't fall in it, but I got up so fast that my chair flipped. I've never been that excited for a fighting game in my life. I am a huge fan of Ruby. I love it. I love the series so much. And I blew up. I literally blew up. I saw Ruby. I saw her in a fighting game, and I was like, I need to get this fighting game because Rooster Teeth had been teasing something about a fighting game, because everybody wants a Ruby fighting game, and Rooster Teeth was like, well, I guess you'll have to see what happens at EVO, and I was like, oh my god, please. And then this happened. And now we're getting trailer upon trailer upon trailer of, like, all these characters from BlazBlue, from Under Night, from Persona 4 and 3, because Aegis is into that game now, and from Ruby, and I'm so excited. I'm going to main Yang, and I'm going to, like, I'm going to beat so many people. I'm going to learn this game. I'm going to learn this game inside and out, and I'm going to be a master. I'll see y'all at EVO. Not actually, I suck at fighting games, but I'm excited for this game. The hype is real, and the hype keeps getting realer with every trailer they release. I'm very excited for this. So this made number 3. Now, because of all the recent news about it, like all the character reveals, all the, information we're getting, all of the demos that we're seeing in from the producer's play, I really wanted to put this as number 2. I really did. But in the end, like I said, I decided to leave 3 and 2 the way they were, and I'll explain why when I get into what we are now getting into, number 2 on my list, Shin Megami Tensei 5. This game has been a long time coming for me personally. So, the Shin Megami Tensei series is the mother series of Persona. Persona is a spin-off of this series. The Shin Megami Tensei series is very near and dear to my heart, because I've played or seen just about all the spin-offs from this series. And I've played 2, 3, and 4 from this series. 2 was a very different experience. 2 is a very old game, but I did play it. I played as much as I could. And I had fun with that. I've played a lot of the spin-offs, a lot of them, or seen them, and, of course, Persona. But I've played Nocturne, and I've played SMT4. SMT4, I wasn't too big a fan of. It was good, it was fun. The way that the demons and battles worked in that system was pretty cool. I liked it. It worked perfectly for the 3DS, might I just add. That game is a perfect 3DS game. Like, a Shin Megami Tensei game, going back to, like, that style, because, like, 2 had that style of battle, and so did Soul Hackers. And 3 went to, like, a, like, how do I describe it? If you ever played Nocturne, you know that it's like a third-person exploration, and then it's also like third-person battles where you're all lined up in a row, and it's kind of like how Final Fantasy is. Anyway, but SMT4 goes back to the way that SMT2 has its battle style, and I think that's perfect for a 3DS game. It worked perfect. It flowed well. It was nice. It was fun. That game's hard, though. Oh my god, that game's hard. And so when Final Fantasy, oh my god, just like burn me now, SMT. When Shin Megami Tensei 5 got announced, I freaked out because we got this beautiful trailer of this abandoned office building, and then we saw all these demons that it just looked so cool. All the demons that we know and love, and we just saw, and it's coming to the Switch. I was extremely excited. And my hype was huge. I was really hyped up for this, and I was really excited. But I got even more excited when I read something. So I read that so first of all, the producer had an interview with Famitsu, and he said something along the lines of he wants Shin Megami Tensei 5 to kind of, sympathize with, like, troubles that the world was going in, like our world is going in currently, like terrorism and unemployment, I think was one of them, and like uneasiness about like troubles at home and stuff like that. He wanted it to really sympathize with you on those, which was really cool. I liked it. It's interesting, and I know they can do it. If anyone can do it, it's them. But he also said that he wants to create a hybrid game. Now, this is what got me really excited. This is why this is in number 2 for me. He wanted to create a hybrid game with the charm of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne and the fun demon upbringing elements of Shin Megami Tensei 4. Now, if you remember in my Metroid Prime 4 paragraph, I guess you can say, I said that the only game that has ever given me that atmospheric, alone feeling, like the first Metroid Prime, was Nocturne, SMT3 Nocturne. I love Nocturne because of that. It feels like you're alone. It feels like you're isolated in this huge world. They want to create a hybrid with the charm of that from the upbringing elements of, like, the demon elements of 4. Oh my god, if they can pull this off and it feels like Nocturne and it has the fun elements of 4, this is going to be like a contender for Game of the Year for me. I cannot wait for this. I found that by accident. I was trying to search for something in SMT5 because I thought I was trying to search for information from one of the trailers. I was trying to search for like speculation and stuff, and I found this by accident. And I read it, and I started freaking out again, like the same way that I freaked out when I saw the original trailer. And I couldn't believe it. I'm still so excited. This is going to be an amazing game if they can pull this off. That's why I said number 2. I have hope that they can do this. It is number 2 because of that. I had a lot of trouble trying to see if BlazBlue was going to take over, but no, this game is a solid. It's sitting at number 2 for me right now, and it's going to stay there for a while. I'm so excited to see more from this game. And that brings us to number 1. Now, I said number 1 wasn't going to be overthrown by anything on this list, and it won't. It will not be. Number 1, I have been waiting for this game for a long time. A very long time. And I'm okay with the wait, because I know the circumstances of why I've been waiting. But its release is just around the corner. I don't have a date, but I know that this release is just around the corner because, well, the developer literally tweeted the release date's around the corner. Y2K, a postmodern RPG. If you have not heard of this game, I suggest you search that up. Y2K, a postmodern RPG. This is a game that takes so much inspiration from RPGs like Earthbound. Those quirky, funny, different RPGs. This takes a lot of inspiration, and you can see it. You can see that inspiration. So here's the official description on their site about the game, okay? On the afternoon of April 4th, 1999, Sammy Pack went missing. That night, a video of her last known moments was uploaded online. All of your friends excitedly watched as she is pulled from an elevator by something otherworldly. This is a story about what happens when you look for someone who can't be found, and the strange things you invite into your life when you go to forbidden places. That sounds so cool, and not only that, the reason that I was attracted to this game so heavily was because of... Okay, so it was that, but it was also that this game took inspiration from Earthbound. I read that and I was so excited. I love Earthbound. It's amazing. But the voice actors, 2 of the voice actors in this game is what drew me immediately to this game. There's Kerbifer is in this game. Kerbifer is here on YouTube. He is a YouTuber. He created the series Tome, Terrain of Magical Expertise. I absolutely love it. He's a funny guy. He's awesome. He's an awesome animator. And he voices the main character, Alex, in this game. I am so excited. Because not only that, but one of the characters, named Rory, is voiced by Andrew Fayette. If you don't know his name, his YouTube name is Yuri of Wind. Yuri of Wind has been one of my favorite YouTubers for so long. I love that guy. I have never met him. I would love to meet him. I've never met him, but he is amazing. Absolutely amazing, and I am so glad that he is in this game. He is the reason that I started looking into this game in the first place. If a voice actor can do that, that's pretty awesome. You have an awesome voice actor. And it's not even because of his voice. His voice is amazing. But it's not even because of his voice. It's just because he was in the game. And I was so excited about that. I was so excited for him. And so I followed this game, and it just keeps getting better from there. Like, the stuff that they're revealing, the stuff they show, is getting better. They have a demo on their site right now. If you would like to go play it, you can go onto their site. You can download the demo and you can play. It's a special demo. And you can play it right now. And it's great. It's amazing. It's fun. This game's everything I ever hoped that it would be, and it is. I don't know when it's coming out, but the release date's supposed to be right around the corner. I've been waiting a long time for this game. A very long time. And I'm excited because it is so close to release day. I will be picking this up on release day. And not only that, but I'm pretty sure that Limited Run Games is going to do a limited physical run for the Switch. They've already confirmed that they are doing it for the PS4 and the Vita. This is getting a limited run release on the PS4 and Vita. But I have a feeling that they're also going to do it for the Switch, because the Switch version got announced way later than when they announced the Vita and PS4. I'm betting you anything that they're going to release on the Switch. If they do, if this gets a physical release, I'm buying it on launch and downloading it, and I'm also buying a physical release of it. I want this on my shelf so badly. I want it on my shelf, but I want it for the Switch. I won't buy a PS4 physical release for it. I want it on my shelf, but I really want it as a Switch game. I don't know, I'm being kind of greedy there, but I really do. This game's coming out on the PS4, on the PS Vita, on the Wii U, on Steam, and on the Switch. And last I checked, all of those are still confirmed, including the Wii U. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. I've been waiting so long for this game. This game's been in development for quite a while. This game does take place in the late 90s, on the eve of the world's end. Y2K. I've been waiting quite a while for this. There is an expected release date on their site, and it says April 2018. But I don't know if that's I don't know how recently that was updated. I don't know if they still expect it to be April 2018. But if it is, it'll come out the same month that Sammy Pack went missing in 1999 in the game, so that's pretty cool. But like I said, I've been waiting for a long time for this game. It has funny dialogue, it has cool characters, it has cool voice actors that I know and are from YouTube. This is number one, without a doubt, on my list. This cannot be overthrown by anything on this list. Unless something comes out of the woodworks and is announced tomorrow, I don't know. What would it take? It would take Persona, one of the Persona games, Persona 4 being remade for the Switch. That would be a port though, and Golden? That was from last gen, right? It's technically the Vita's last gen, right? I don't know. It would take a lot to throw this out of slot 1, but this game's coming out soon. I really hope it is. It's coming out soon, so I'm ready. I am so ready. I'm gonna buy this twice. I am. I cannot wait. I want this on my shelf, and I want it the minute it releases. The second it releases, I'm downloading it, and it's gonna be on my shelf. I might also make a review here on YouTube for it. I am so excited. I really am. You should definitely look into this game if you haven't heard about it. It's funny. It's wonderful. The art style's cool. I can go on and on about it, but I think I've said enough for now. Yeah, but those are my top 10 most anticipated Switch games that are coming out. Not necessarily this year, because I know that we're not getting Pokemon this year. But yeah, thanks for listening. I enjoyed making the What If The Legend of Zelda was turned into an RPG series video that I made. I definitely enjoyed it, but this was fun too. I really do think that I'm gonna do more of these podcast type things. It literally is a podcast. I've been sitting here talking for an hour, but I definitely think that I'll do more of these. I'll still do the other videos because that video was very fun to edit, and I was very pleased with it. But maybe I can go into detail on some of the videos that I don't think I gave enough time for in podcast formats like this. But yeah, I thought this would be fun, so I decided to try it. I hope you liked it too, because I had fun. I've just been sitting here talking to myself, but Anyway, that's all from me for now. So thank you very much for listening, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.